different types of dyes. First, wet dyes. Indigo is one of the oldest natural wet dyes. They are having maximum durability and color fastness. Cotton is dyed using wet dyes. The production was started since the early 1900s or so.
The solubilized wet dyes have affinity to the cellulose molecule. However, the exhaustion of the dye bath is facilitated by the addition of an electrolyte to the dye liquor. Neutral salts like sodium sulfate or common salt can increase the affinity of leuco dyes for the fiber and are used as electrolyte. The temperature of the dye bath depends on which solubilized wet dye is used and varies from 20 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius. During dyeing, the textile material must be kept immersed in the dye liquor to prevent premature oxidation of the leuco compound.
Reactive dyes. Reactive dyes were first developed in 1956 by ICI, UK. The dye is retained by covalent bonding between the dye and the fiber. The fibers most readily colored with reactive dyes are natural and man-made cellulosic fibers. Direct dyes. The fibers most readily colored with direct dyes are cotton and viscose rayon fibers. It shows low wash fastness. Basic dyes. Basic dyes, also known as cationic dyes, are distinguished from the other classes of dyes by their brilliance of color. Acid dyes. Acid dyes are applied under acidic conditions. They are used to dye natural protein fibers, nylon, acrylic, and cellulose fibers. They are cheap and have good color fastness to sunlight. Azoic dyes. By applying it, dark blue, black, orange, and red shades can be obtained. Economically, the fastness proportions are good. This dye is most suitable for batik, tie and dye, etc. Dispersed dyes. The fibers that are most commonly dyed with dispersed dyes are cellulose and polyester fibers. The assistance of high temperature, high pressure, and carriers is taken to achieve satisfactory dyeing. Sulfur dyes. These dyes contain sulfur and are used to dye cellulosic fibers, both natural and man-made.